Hi.
Oh my gosh, we're so excited that we have Julie Bowen in the house.
So
before,
so we're not cool to our kids. Obviously, are you cool to your kids or no?
Cool to them? Like, am I a cool mom?
Yeah, like are they like, oh my god, my mom is?
Not just
No,
a cool
it
mom,
doesn't matter what you do. Like, I always thought I was pregnant with the twins when I was doing the pilot of Modern Family. I was 8.5 months pregnant. I was like, I'm always going to be the cool mom. Am I right?
Yeah.
Am I right? No. If your dad, Mick Jagger's kids think he's a loser. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, but my kids watch Modern Family. All of them from 8 years old to 14. It's their family show. It's weird, and I'm not just saying this to blow smoke up your ass, but they all watch it. I know it's not necessarily massively appropriate for the 8-year-old sometimes.
No, it's fine. Most of those jokes go over their heads.
Okay,
Yeah.
she actually is clever to get
heads.
them, but you've given me a lot of clout now, and you are very of because Modern Family's been over for how long?
It's been what?
Over for how long?
We ended like when was the pandemic? Literally
2020?
So the end of February 2020.
Do you know you have a resurgence?
Yes.
Okay, so you know
yes,
this.
because I have all these younger kids coming up to me, and the parents are like, "Oh, we started watching it again." Blah blah blah.
They watch it on their own.
Yeah,
like
and
I
they
don't watch it
endlessly.
With them. Yes,
It's like an
obsessive.
It's like an evergreen show. Like, you know how like for all my life I just have to watch like a couple of minutes of Seinfeld every day, like before bed, just because I can watch true crime till I'm like all day long. There's a little Seinfeld at the end, but that's the same thing that Modern Family just makes you feel safe and fun and happy and good. So like, is this show going to air for the rest of forever?
I mean, that'd be fine with me. My kids don't watch it. They never have.
They never have.
Don't they know how good it is?
Never have. They are like, they've never watched anything that I've been in because they don't. I heard an interview once with Julianne Moore, and it made me feel so much better because she's a goddess.
Yeah.
And she was like, they were asking her, "Oh, you got naked in this or whatever? Do your kids going to see it?" She goes, "My kids need me to be their mom. They don't want to see anything else but mom."
So they don't stalk you because our kids stalk us and then watch us and then
their friends
then
listen to
share
the
it and then they're
podcast.
like, oh, and then they give us feedback on what else we should be doing.
Oh my God, I love that. Wait, how old
No,
are they?
it's not good. Like
They're-
my son's in grade 8, and like on our podcast we talk about everything. And on Fridays it's like
Yeah,
sex and
I
relationships.
I know. Your uncensored
and
podcast. It's like
Yeah.
for
Crazy.
realsies.
And I don't.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, the podcast is just about two best friends talking. So I'll be like, you know, that time I was in the back of a taxi and I gave a guy a blowjob, and my son comes back to me and goes, "Mom, I know what you did in the back."
A long time ago, not recently. Like this wasn't just like this wasn't yesterday.
But
This
by
was-
the way, what if it was yesterday?
Yeah.
It still
Well, yeah.
feels like they shouldn't know
No.
all
They
that.
should. These
I
boys
know.
should not be listening to this podcast.
Yeah, I know. They're
Get a life.
and my kids just don't want to watch me at all because they think it's mortifying.
I
and
feel like they're really missing out on a great series.
embarrassing. You know what? They seem to be just fine. I think the point is that it doesn't matter whether you
cool or
think
not.
you're like, if you're cool or your kids, you have a cool job. It doesn't matter.
No.
I could have a job racing cars and blowing things up, which are like the only things that they like.
Yeah.
I could be literally like a pyrotechnics specialist, and they'd be like,
A
I don't
stunt
like
double.
that.
Yeah, because it's you.
It's you.
would you consider? So you have 3 boys, 3 teenage boys.
I just can't even imagine what
And-
that's going to be like.
we have only 1 and preteens, like all. So we have 4 boys total, and the oldest is 13, turning 14, then 12, and 2 12-year. I don't even know how.
But
old
they'll
they are.
all be exactly like that.
Yeah.
Soon, right in that age group.
Is it weird that I feel like girl puberty is such a huge conversation? Because I feel like girl puberty, we did a mom truth on it, and it went so viral on boy puberty because girls feel done by 14. Like
Yeah.
it feels like it's a package.
Yeah.
You can project them.
Right.
Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, you're done.
And they're settled, right?
Yeah.
Boys, it feels like a little bit, and some of them go like really fast.
I have twins. I have twin 15-year-olds. One is 5'11", has grown a lot, and is like super athletic and Mr. Social. And his twin brother
Yeah.
is 5'4".
What grade are they in?
They're just finished 8th. I held them back because they were twins. They should be in 9th.
When's
but
their birthday?
May 579. That's their birthday. 579. So 7. May
7th.
7th.
Okay. Oh, so okay.
But the school year could be different here.
Yeah. But oh my gosh, you say 5, 4, and 5.
11.
Yeah. And that is like, and the doctor's like, just chill. It's
They'll be the
normal.
same?
They're going to be different. They won't be the same.
Right.
But like puberty is like, it's just different. Oh, am I allowed to swear?
Yes.
Oh, yes,
I shouldn't have
obviously.
said. No, it's just different. It's all different. Boys are so, and I have 3 boys and they're completely different.
That's so weird.
Were you I was so ready for girl puberty. I feel like I'm so ready for girl
Like,
puberty.
and they talk about it. It's like the big one is obviously like the period and the boobs and people.
the buds, you know, like you. I know.
that.
Ew,
I've
so-
been living
ew,
with boys
ew,
for
ew.
so long that I'm like, bleh.
we hate. We're the same. When I say buds, I'm like, don't say that word. Don't say that word.
Because it reminds
Ew.
me of when my mom said it. She's like, "You've got one bud. We're gonna go talk to the doctor because there's one bud, but not the other bud, and we're gonna show the man doctor to make sure you're
Your
normal."
buds. Ew.
Ew.
I do remember that feeling though, and being like,
Yeah.
what's ow?
Yeah.
And they're like, that means you're 2 years from getting your period. I
Yeah.
was like a clock.
Yeah, because apparently it's like really like only 4 years, and like in the middle is when you get your period, and then 2 years after that you're done.
They get the buds are like a
A warning
precursor.
sign.
Yeah.
So your
Murmur.
experience with boys is no timeline, no
Nothing.
predictions,
Nothing.
no precursors.
No.
Just like, did you wake up and one was different? Because I found I woke up and mine cared about his hair, what he smelled like, and what he looked like within a day.
Hers
I was
did it overnight. He
overnight.
turned into like what
One
the
of
fuck
mine
happened?
went away for a week with his dad, and he came back, and I was like, "Do you have a cold?" And he's like, "No." His voice had changed over
Yes.
in a week. He was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Are you all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." It was that fast.
Yes.
it was
Mine
like a
same.
week.
Yeah.
Same.
It's
Did he
And it
care
feels like
what
they're
he,
faking.
And he cared what he looked like. He cared what he
well,
smelled
they
like. Did you
care
get
what
into that?
they look like, sort of, and then. First of all, the thing with the cologne, I don't understand it. It's gross.
But you
and
have
disgusting.
a spray.
I have developed a tween and teen skincare line called JB Scrub for boys
for their faces.
because girls are like
Yes.
the girls are like Sephora experts. 2 of my boys went on their first date
To Sephora.
to Sephora because that's where the girls wanted to meet. And the girls then are like doing like the 15 steps Korean skincare thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
They know every single thing. They're buying stuff, by the way, that they shouldn't be buying with like retinol.
I
and,
know.
like,
Hyaluronic acid.
I know.
It's
Crazy.
crazy.
And it's all really expensive. And the boys, I feel like, are more and more and more alienated by that.
Yeah.
Like, the more they go into Sephora and a girl goes, try lip venom. And they're like, ah.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't like it becomes, they get really scared more and more like, oh, that must be for them. And
Yeah.
we're like, no. Trust me. There's a thing for you. It's super simple. You're going to wash your face. You're going to use a toner pad. You're going to use moisturizer.
For skin problems
Yeah.
or just for skin, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
for skin problems or
Yes.
skin care.
But we're trying to get them early because it turns out these boys, they go from like, they're literally, you're wiping their ass one day.
Yep.
And then mine's closed the door and like, you can't come in the bathroom. I haven't
Yes.
seen my children naked in 5
Like when they sprouted a
years.
pube.
That's what I was assuming. But all of a sudden they're like changing in the closet. You're like, what's going on? But one minute they're like, come wipe my ass. And the next week the door's closed and they have no idea what they're doing in there.
No.
None. I know because I washed their underwear. And I'm like, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, would stand outside the bathroom going, pits, nuts, butts, in that order.
Nice.
And they were like,
That's smart. I like
Right.
that. I think I have to do that.
Pits, nuts,
pits,
butts.
nuts, butts.
Yeah.
Never the opposite. But
Oh,
butts,
right.
nuts.
in that order.
Yes.
They're like, why? I go, just trust me.
Trust me.
And like, do I rinse it off?
Oh.
Oh, I know.
They're that dumb.
Yes.
So you have to like just speak to them where they are. That's why we made this JB Scrub. So it's like, it's for them.
Basic instructions.
So basic. And it's supposed to be for like, you have like, who has like an 11-year-old?
We
We
both
do.
do.
But those little like white, they're not zits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's milia, whatever it's called. I don't even know what it's called. I'm not a dermatologist.
Yeah.
But like, so they start using either they ignore it.
Yes.
completely,
Yes.
Or they use stuff that's like super harsh. But like, we made our toner pads have like succinic acid instead of salicylic acid, which is way gentler because they start burning themselves.
I
They're like,
remember doing that to my own self with those pads.
Yeah.
It's like alcohol.
oh, sea breeze.
Oh.
Remember? Do you guys maybe you didn't have it in Canada?
Yeah.
No, I don't think we.
No,
But we had
it was
opposite, like the pads. Like
it was like
Yeah.
it was like
And then, of course, we would
chlorine.
never want to moisturize after because we were so afraid that we
Ew.
would get pimples.
right. But then they're like, and then the other ones. Everybody thinks that they're experts now because my boys will watch TikTok. They're like, "Mom, I can't wash my face because of the natural skin's natural
shit.
skin barrier." I go, "Your natural skin barrier is covered in bacteria,
Yeah.
and guess acne literally eats bacteria. Ew, gross."
Yeah.
So like just getting them to like you have to get them to like do it a few times, and then they're like, oh, okay. So we've got a cabinet in our house with all the JV Scrub stuff, and they just go through it now, which is great.
Good. And that's great for
Which
the
is
people they're
great.
going on a date with. My son said to me once, because he's more like in touch, and he's got an older sister, and they're not very far apart. And he was like, Mom, have you heard of manscaping and manscaping? I'm like, of course. And he's like leveled with me. He's like, you tell Taylor all about like shaving, you take her for laser, you have all this stuff. Why didn't you ever tell me that guys can like manscape too? My nephew said to me,
A stranger on the street.
yeah, just
came up to me
you
and
know
said,
you can groom your balls. So, but either way, what he's saying is like, and he will point out this stuff a lot, like that he's left out of that conversation of looking
wear.
good
Right.
and taking care of
But there's
himself.
also this idea that they go from like baby stuff. They're like, oh, you've got your honest and like your baby things.
Yeah.
And then suddenly the next option is ball shaving or like body sprays that smell like bug bombs
Yes.
or like just all that stuff that's like man sweat sex.
You know,
And you're like, wait, how? Nothing,
No.
in,
it's
nothing in
because
the
we
middle.
don't. I think it's because we don't talk to them. Like the girls, they have the TikToks where it's like, this is what you do, and
Right.
the girls. And I mean, I have a 9-year-old, and they do skincare at sleepovers,
Right.
with nothing,
Of course.
But they get it's the band. It's
Masks
it's clout,
and-
right? It's like let me get the headband, and then let's do our skin. They watch, they emulate what they see,
Right.
And then the boys, I feel like, are left out of the entire
They're so
conversation.
left out.
They don't care.
Right.
Like you assume they don't care until they care.
Well,
and
they want to know, but they also like they go, I'm not doing 15 steps, and then like no.
Did you think you'd be a boy mom? Like when you were
You're
before
one
you
of
had
3
kids?
girls, right?
Yeah, I have 2 sisters, and I've said this many times. I never saw a penis until it was hard and coming at me. In my life, I was like went to all girls schools. I finally, when I went to 10th grade, I went to boarding school and was like, oh, these are boys, and they were at that point they were men.
Yeah.
So everything up to about age 15 with kids, with boys, I'm just like every day I'm like, what? That's normal? Like you want to pummel each other, you want to like fart on each other, like I'm like
What is this?
I'm completely baffled by
Yes, it is, and it's very strange. And I have 3, and she's got the one boy, and so he doesn't get to pummel anybody because he can't pummel his sisters, and mine are just,
he doesn't, he will.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
no.
Wait, how old's yours?
He's 12, but she would beat him up.
She's
my
bigger.
older one would beat him up in a second. Like he doesn't, but when he sees it, he's like, "What's wrong with them?" Like he knows it because we raise our kids together. But it's shocking when you see the brothers beat each other,
They
beat
really
each other
try
up,
to hurt each other.
beat each other.
We go and we play. I like to play pickleball. I'm not good, but we will play. And the really tall one.
Is he the 17-year-old or the bigger
he's the
15-year-old?
15-year-old.
Okay.
He's the tallest in the whole family, and he will get up and like to the net and like smash it, and I'm cringy. And if he misses, he gets pissed, and he'll turn around to one of his brothers and just haul off on them with a ball at them.
Yeah.
And they're all like, ha ha ha, and I'm like, someone's gonna lose an eye.
Yeah.
And doesn't that hurt? It's like when they're doing that, it's like it doesn't really hurt. Because I think to myself,
No,
like,
it hurts, but there's adrenaline, and then they're like,
Yeah.
"I'm going to get you back." They're more about thinking about revenge. It's like I'm
just
gonna,
so worried that one time I'm like, if you go too far, like someone's going to break something, and then you're going to go to school.
How many broken bones have you had?
Just one.
That's it.
Have you had a lot?
Oh my god. We have an orthopedic surgeon that we go to. He deals with kids a lot.
Are they active?
What are they breaking? How are they breaking
Everything.
it? Skiing.
One of them, the most
Mine
one
was-
was-
mine was
but she
skiing.
lives in LA. Is it from
skiing definitely was once. Weird boating accident was another time.
Oh.
Falling. One of them shoves the other one out of the car really quickly.
And
no,
broke it.
it
Oh,
was
not moving.
Not moving. There was somebody fell off. I mean, starting at age 2, fell off the slide at the park. And like
that's-
tumbled,
yeah.
broke a
Yeah.
I broke my collarbone like
way.
that.
Yes. And then, but the craziest one was one of my kids, and I won't say his name, loves basketball, and his friends were like, you could dunk if we just picked you up and threw you
Oh my god!
at the net. And I get a call from the school. He's got a broken wrist. And I'm like, what were you thinking? He goes, well, worked the first time. I was like, you did this repeatedly?
Do you want to know? It's.
I'm actually shocked that I've only had one broken bone.
I
so
was
far.
walking the dog in the park, and I saw these boys. Kath and I saw these boys loading up a ramp with wheels and ski. Like wheels and skis and like not a lot of snow, trying to jump over a thing, and
Bad
we're
ideas.
like, this is such a bad idea. But as another mom, are you like, hey, and they were filming it obviously, and I was like, do you stop and say bad idea, or you let them just do the bad idea? I mean,
mine were doing a bad idea in your backyard, and I brought a guest, and I wouldn't let them do the track. Her kid does flips on like a gymnastics track outside.
Yeah,
but they're in the pool, and so it's really bouncy. So I said, you can't put it down because then you're gonna kill yourself. And they just took their wet bodies, threw themselves along, like standing up till they crashed on the ground. You guys think this is a good idea? And I had to drop the kid off, and he had a huge rug burn all over his body.
They don't care. They don't care.
They don't feel it.
They don't care. They don't care. They don't feel it. I don't understand what goes through their minds, and I have to just think that not a lot.
I guess
Maybe
so.
the answer's not a lot.
This looks like fun.
Yeah.
So you were pregnant with them when you did pilot, and then you became a mom. And like, did Modern Family take off season 1 like massively? So you were
So
brand new mom.
So you started off.
Well, no, I had I had a
17-year-old.
2-year-old already, and then I was pregnant with the twins. And so when I was pregnant with the twins and 8.5 months pregnant on the pilot, and then I went back to work a couple months after they were born, 2 months after they were born.
Do you think that saved you, or like did that make you crazy?
Honestly, it was like I was exhausted all the time, and work at least I could like go to my trailer like during lunch and take a nap. And I would definitely like, you know, if the kids were still napping at home, I would be like, oh my God, I'm just going to lie here for 5 more minutes with my eyes closed. So I was breastfeeding. I was pumping on my way back and forth.
Do you
to work.
remember? Like, do you remember the time, or did you just?
That's
I
just crazy.
blacked out a lot of that first year when people were like, remember when we went to that party and we won those prizes and everyone, and I was like, no. And then we all went to Morocco. Oh, Julie, you didn't go.
Do you mean
'Cause I didn't go
prizes
anywhere.
being Emmys?
There were different like awards that were going on.
And
like,
you had to go.
well, I didn't. If they were like, I remember Jesse went to Monaco to receive some award on behalf of the cast. It was a boondoggle, like free trip. And I was like, I want to go on a free trip. And they're like, no, you have 3 children at home. What are you going to do? I couldn't leave them. I mean, my ex-husband, he's a great guy, but nobody should be left with 3 children.
Yeah, especially twin babies.
Yes, babies.
Twins.
How many years did this show go for?
11.
But you had to pretend to be. You're an actor, so that's what you do. But you had to pretend to be a mom of older
kids.
You'd never actually been a mom to kids that age.
Right. They actually taught me a lot.
I was going to say, do you think that it did? Because I feel like everyone aspires to be that mom that you played.
Good Lord.
They loved her.
Favorite mom.
That was the favorite mom.
That's crazy because I can't really
relate.
I can't really relate to that
Because she was neurotic.
No, I mean I'm neurotic. But that it was like that. There's.
But you were fun as that act. Like
yeah,
that was a fun.
I mean, it had it's a half an hour, and it always has a happy ending.
Yeah.
And there's like times now when I'm like, why isn't this like a half an hour with a happy ending? And where's the camera that I can look at and be like, is this?
Are we done?
Is this really happening? Is this really happening? Like, is anyone seeing this? Because, now we'll have arguments that go on for days. And you're like, not tying it up neatly at the end of half an hour, are we?
That's a wrap. Is there any part of your mothering style that was like hers?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was a mother, like you said, I was a mother to older kids on TV before. I was, when I had little kids. But Nolan played my son, Luke, and he was 11 when he started. And Ariel was 11. Sarah was actually already 18. She was playing 15.
She was 18 when she started.
She was so tiny.
Right.
She looked so young.
And Nolan, I learned so much from Nolan. Like
because he would have just been a kid. He would have just been a kid.
He was 11, and I watched him go through these changes and like grow and change, and his interests. Like one of the most important things I learned is like don't get so attached to the one interest that they may have because it's going to change. Or if they're really weird and like wearing weird clothes for a certain period, don't worry, it's going to go away.
Oh yeah.
So that.
Like peer pressure is real.
He gave me hope that things
can change.
Phases
it's
go
a
by.
Season.
Right.
Girls, you don't have them, but they present tougher because emotionally they like to play with you, right? They like to take you, and I'm sure you saw that in the characters where it's like this like game. It's like an emotional, like it's like emotional warfare. You're like, are you being serious? Are you being nice? Is this like passive aggressive? You're always like trying to be one step ahead of them.
Sarah's character did that a lot.
You're like, what are you? It's real. That's very real. But boys are like, ooh, like they're very not basic, just like what you see is kind of what you get. It's not as like manipulative.
I feel they're less manipulative.
They are less manipulative, and they always stunned me by their like last night I was in a brawl with one of them because he said he was going to do 3 things last week, didn't do them. I check up on it yesterday, and I was like, you know what? You're in jail. You're not leaving jail until I feel like it because that's unacceptable.
I like
goes,
till I feel like it. When is this over?
When I feel like it.
I like it. And he's like sauntering off to his bedroom. He's like, love you, Mom. And I'm like, I would never have said that to my mother after she just put me in jail. Yeah. And I'm like, boys always say, I love you.
I know.
I mean, my boys do.
They do.
Come back, and even if they've done something so horrible, it's like, Mom, I'm sorry, and I just really love you. And you're like,
it's not them doing something wrong. It's me. I lose my shit all the time. I'm like, God damn. And then I'm like, I'm really sorry.
You're teaching them.
So sorry. I'm like, I had a lot of work to do and I did not sleep enough and I took it out on you and that's not okay. I mean, I apologize a lot.
So that's an important life lesson. I want to ask you, what's harder, babies or teenagers?
Oh, yeah.
What's harder?
What's harder, babies or teenagers?
Like toddlers, teen, like what is the harder phase?
We're hoping right now you're going to say it gets so much easier.
Babies are harder because you're on death watch all the time, and like,
you don't think driving though?
It's exhausting. It's just like 24/7, and you feel like you're, I don't know, but teenagers are terrifying.
Teenagers are a lot of minutia.
It is a lot of like, it's a different kind of death watch. They drive off, and you go like, my oldest drives, and he throws the other 2 in the car, and I'm like, but careful.
You're like 2 at a time, not 3.
No,
2.
I know. I need 1. I need an extra.
Yeah.
I need 1 to live.
I'm like the only 2 of you in the car at once, right? 3 of you can't go together. Only
it's like
2
the president and the vice president.
Yeah,
you can't all be
together
in the same vehicle.
Oh my gosh, that's like in a very like basic. My mom, Giselle, she'll say something and she's like, "You can never have 1 kid." And she told me this because if your 1 kid dies, you won't be able to carry on. You'll die yourself of a broken heart.
Which is bananas that people say that because it's like so like British royalty. You need the heir and the spare.
Yeah.
And you're like, ew. I don't want to ever think about that.
Yeah. No, we never want to think about
But she was like,
she's facts.
My mom was just like, yeah, like if you lose 1, at least you got to have 1. Okay,
in
Mom.
terms of
I'll
like
have 4
relationships, because they get into when they navigate and branch off into their own relationships.
This is scary.
Do you think you get like? Would they listen to you if you're like, I don't know about this, like, or do you just let it go and ride the course? Like, what is the?
You mean what kind of relationships? Like girls?
Yes.
No. It's interesting. My oldest has had girlfriends, like actual girlfriends.
Do they come over?
Yes, and I love it.
Oh, I like them.
Are you kidding me? I love
what
that.
What grade is he in?
He's about to be a senior.
Wait, 17. So you know they're coming over, and you're like, so this.
I love them. I love it when they bring girls over, friends, girlfriends, girls they're interested in. I'd much rather they were all over at my house, like where I can at least make sure nobody's gonna like drive and do something stupid. Like just be here.
Okay.
We haven't gotten to the place where anyone has brought a significant over, and I'm just like.
Friends, yes, but like this actual, like this is my, this I am.
Oh yeah,
we're dating.
I'm sure we'll break the ice and it'll feel normal, but it's when it's never happened, it feels like it's gonna be so.
And
weird.
It doesn't feel like someone's infiltrating. Like it feels like, well,
no, it's great. And as a matter of fact, because girls talk and boys don't,
right?
And so I actually got to see a different side of my oldest when his girlfriend was around, because she would sit down, down to dinner and be chatting away. Yeah, that ended, but I loved it because it was like a whole different side of him I got to see, because they start shutting down that more vulnerable side to their parents.
Is it weird to see them towards a girl?
Like affectionate and stuff?
It's weird to look at the Instagram because that.
Oh, like how? Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I'm like, what makes you think it's okay to post that?
I don't know.
Do
you say something or no? Like,
no, I've said, you need to think about more than just yourself. It's not just you looking cool because your girlfriend is like looking real hot in this picture. your girlfriend's family. Like, just be chill.
Okay.
Just be
I get.
chill.
I see what you're putting. I get it.
But what if one of them? Yeah. So what if one comes home with one, and you just know you see all the red flags?
I've seen it.
Oh.
Do you say something?
No, it's to me. I'm like the handshaker. I'm always shake hands first with the kids. At least one time after that, I'll hug them. But the girls, the boys, and I got one of them had this girl he had a crush on, and she was like a wet fish in my hand, and I was like, she's got to go. And he's like, what, Mom? It's not that deep. It's not that deep. And I'm like, you know what? That is the most sophisticated way of saying, I don't give a shit about what you're going to say.
Yeah.
I don't care about how you feel.
Yeah.
It's not that deep. And I'm like, anybody who gives you limp hand and can't look you in the eye,
She wasn't brought up well.
Are you
don't
Italian?
like it. Am I Italian?
Yeah.
No, German.
I was going to say we have an Italian friend. If the minute if the kid doesn't look her in the eye, they're out. They're gone. They're dead to her. If you come over and talk and you can't look the mom in the eye, the house that you're at, she's like, that's my red flag. You're out. She's like, you're done. Like it's a girl. It's even a girl. Even if it's a friend.
No,
like,
I know.
With her daughter over. Nope. You look at me.
But they have to.
Oh yeah, her.
No, I know. Just it's like
Yeah.
you look at me.
And if they
out.
don't, I'm just like, no. And occasionally there'll be a really sweet one who I can tell just was never taught properly. And I'm
Right.
like, all right, listen, give me your hand. We're doing this. And they like thank me.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
they're like, oh. No,
Good to know for my
they're
next
not
interview.
in a world where they have to shake hands all the
Yeah.
time. And I'm like, yeah. Also, in COVID, no one touched anybody forever.
Right.
So they're probably like,
How old's your youngest? 13.
no, they're two.
15.
The twins are
2 or
15.
15 because my
Just
8-year-old doesn't know how to do an escalator because she was in COVID for so long and we didn't do it. So when we do an escalator, she's like, oh, and I was like, oh my gosh, you missed out on such formative years. For 3 years we were locked down. You don't know
escalator.
what that looked like. You don't know how to grab the escalator
I
and walk
know.
down. It's just some weird things
like,
like that.
are they born in 2008?
7 and 9, 2007 and 2009.
No, okay. I just have to touch on that's not that deep. Is my kids will say that to me about things when they kind of just want to end the conversation. It's not that deep, even though they brought it up. Okay.
Yeah.
But how many times do they get so into the girl mostly it's so into something and I want to say to her, it's not that deep.
I do say it.
I know, but she's just
I
like,
do.
You're not cool.
It's really hard. Like, I'm in a lot of therapy and have been for years. Thank you to my fantastic therapist, Lynn. And she's like, I rely on her so heavily because, it's also, are you guys married?
Yeah.
To each other?
No, but
Not yet.
To two guys named Mark.
oh, right, to two guys named Mark. I have a wife who's my business partner, and she practically lives in my house. She doesn't, but
the best,
we
right?
are with each other all the time.
Don't you wish you could get
Well,
into it?
I feel like, if I was gay, she'd be my person.
It would be the best, right?
Totally.
We always think that.
Too bad.
But she is like, I vent to her and she will roll her eyes and be like, I get it about the, something horrible happened. So no one flushed the toilet. You're like, why? But but my therapist says all the time, if they feel safe enough to rebel against you, that's a good sign. And the kids that are like terrified and clinging and like trying to please you, they are traumatized. So
1,000.
be happy that they are doing a natural form of individuating. And I'm like, I'm not going to be happy, but I'll take your word for it.
And because otherwise people eat them in the wild. Like if you stay with them for too long, you end up hating them. So they have to learn to rebel against you.
That's our job.
I don't know if you're okay with this, but we have some questions from Instagram, and they are obviously a little bit about who do you keep in touch with the most from the Modern Family cast?
Yeah, you feel like such a family.
We do feel like a family. We see each other a fair amount. Let me think. Who do I keep in touch with the most? Jesse is really glue, and his husband Justin, they're just really good about being glue. Nolan, I go through fits and starts of hanging out with him. He's like doing van life right now, which is amazing.
How old is he?
24.
Because you have to represent something to them like different than, you know what I mean? Like they would see you differently than, because you would have been a figure for them, because you would have been together all day.
Yeah.
Oh, we were together all day, every day. I mean, their parents were there when they were little, but I was always the one that was swearing and saying horrible things. And then, but also I got to learn like how to talk to teenagers a little bit. I mean, different teenagers, because then when it's your own kids, they don't want to hear it.
No.
But like, yeah, Nolan, I watched him go through puberty and
Oh my
girls
gosh.
and first girlfriends and first heartaches and all that stuff. And I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
I always say thank you for letting me in, because he would let me and Ty in, and like he's got great parents, but we got to be parents in a different way.
It's like her daughter will come to me with some things. Our kids will go to each other for different things. I don't think it means one's more important. It's good to have different. They know what you're going to say ultimately, so it's good to hear another perspective. So more adults that you trust is so good.
But there's also stuff like, your mom. Maybe your mom isn't going to buy you condoms or tell you about, sex or something.
Totally.
Where I could be the aunt that's like, I'll buy you 1,000 condoms. Totally. I'll buy condoms for the whole world.
Us too.
Right. And my entire house is condoms.
Yeah, we heard this. You put them everywhere.
And fentanyl test strips.
Yes, we hear
my gosh,
everywhere.
and the Narcan. To bring them back.
Narcan. It's an insurance policy. If you don't have it, somebody's going to die in your house. And if you do have it, hopefully,
hopefully you never have to use it.
It doesn't mean they mean to, or it doesn't mean they wanted to, and it doesn't mean that they have a problem. It just means maybe someone was curious and didn't know.
Yeah.
So that is really
important.
important.
It just means that sometimes people are stupid.
Yeah.
I was stupid.
We
And I
were
was like,
stupid.
But fentanyl didn't exist back then.
No.
You can't be stupid the way I was stupid.
No,
my
but
gosh.
they don't know that because they're living now and they don't think it could happen to them. Like all of us, that nothing could happen
But
to
there's
us.
a kid. I mean, there's somebody. I don't know up in Toronto if it's the same. There's somebody who dies. There's a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old who dies, and once a month you find out. From the same schools and like.
Yep, 100%.
One pill, one time.
Yeah,
It's
one pill,
over.
one time,
And
exactly.
they think it's something different, and they think it's like a prescription, and it's
Right,
not. So that's I'm glad that you said that. The other one, what was it like working with Ed O'Neill and Sophia Vergara? I can't say her name.
Vergara. Sophia Vergara. They're amazing. I mean, they're fantastic.
Did you do different parts, or you all together all the time? Like, you do scenes.
Oh, sometimes we would have like a whole episode where I would only see Ty or like my TV kids, or sometimes there was episodes where I was just with Sophia. So it changes all the time. We saw each other a lot. They are hilarious and funny and warm and giving. And Ed O'Neill is like, he's the greatest. He's a legend. I mean, literally is a legend.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like it worked because all of you sort of got like you really did get along? Do you feel like that it wouldn't have worked if there was so much drama?
Oh my God, we think I thought all the time about like what if Sophia was played by, I remember the first time I met her, I was like, because come on, she looks a certain way, and you go, and she's gonna be all diva and drama. No.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is amazing. Thank God. And Ed is like, could have been like, don't
misogynistic.
We're just like hiding in his trailer. And he's the most loving, intelligent, brings War and Peace to work and reads it all day. I mean, he's crazy smart, and they're all wonderful. Everybody's got something different.
Did you ever have a guest appearance, and the person was like, and you guys were all like, that one
somebody that we were like, oh, this
came in for like an episode.
Sure, because we're like, we don't do like we didn't take our trailers like on location. Like if we were on the lot, the Fox lot, which is right near here, we would have trailers, but we had half trailers. We never got like the big like macked out trailers. We were like all about saving money, and like we'd rather have a better salary.
Yeah,
and so when we would go on location, a couple miles away, usually you take the trailers. You'd be like, pull up and see Sophia Vergara sitting on the curb, and they're like, what's going on? It was like, this is the way we roll.
Wow.
Fast and dirty.
You're
and
so lucky that all of you were
such
like
a good
that. I feel like
scene.
there must be something that the kids keep watching, right? My daughter also watches Gilmore Girls. I feel like they find comfort. A lot of TikTok people watch us because they find comfort in knowing what moms look like. Like they can see themselves, or they want to be friends with their best friend. Like they want to be moms. And I feel like that's what you guys represented to so many people, was maybe they didn't have a mom and dad like you, or maybe Phil gave them relief. Like, that a lot of people don't have good relationships with their parents, sadly. So I think a lot of people watch you as like a relief, and like not stressful. It's not high alert. It's like just easy.
Well,
it's easy to watch.
It's easy to watch, but it also represented like so many people have modern families like we do.
Yeah.
But it's like the only ones that were ever seemed to be celebrated was just the traditional mom, dad, kids. And it's like, what about all of us who had like divorced parents, half sisters, stepsisters, gay uncles, like all of this stuff. And so it was so relatable, and there wasn't a lot like it.
We're going over 30 minutes, so I'm so cognizant of the time.
I just wanted to ask, your work wife, is she married?
She's not.
Does she have
good.
teenagers?
No, she's not married. She doesn't have kids.
Wow.
She froze her eggs last year because I was like, you're not going to be the person who is like falling in love with a date. I'm like so protective of her. Like, you know, you get to that age where you're like, my ovaries are telling me I should marry you. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
You should not listen to your ovaries when you're making a choice
Oh, yeah.
for a life partner. She had dated a lot. She now has a very serious boyfriend who we adore. We really
And
like
your
him.
production company is called
Bowen and
Julie
Sons.
Bowen and Sons. So your kids are so young, and it's way too young to even know what they want to be when they grow up, and they should never have to answer or think about that. But like, do you think maybe they'll join your production company? It's and Sons.
I know. I thought it was because the whole thing is always like, you know, Robert and Sons, and I thought it would be funny if it was me and Sons.
John and Sons.
Yeah.
They always say that they aren't interested in entertainment, but we all did a commercial together on Saturday. First time ever.
For JB Scrub?
Ever. No, for IHOP.
Okay.
Did you get along?
It was great. The one-on-ones were great. I did one with Gus, one with John, one with Olive. When we were all together, it was as if we were at home and no one was there. And they were like punching each other. I was like, stop it.
Oh my!
Like the whole, I mean, it was exactly like it was at home.
They probably wanted that.
Do all three of them get along well?
There are like there's always they triangulate a lot, but not in a bad way. It's just like one is like, oh, those two want to play video games together. Oh, those two want to talk about girls together. Oh, that one always gets left out and like clowned on because he dresses funny. They are always.
I have twin brothers, by the way.
You did?
I did.
Identical?
Fraternal.
Oh, yeah.
I have twin fraternal brothers, but they are weirdly synergetically still, even though they're polar opposites. They align in life a lot. Like both got engaged within a few months, both got married, and not like they weren't like that, but they definitely have a weird.
Oh, I think twins are
weird-
weird. There's a weird thing.
There is
connection.
a weird thing, and then there's also, I mean, because mine looks so different.
Yeah.
People are always like, "Wait, you're twins?" And like girls will come over and be like, where's the other twin?" Because one's really quiet and one's really social, and like, middle school's rough. That's all I have to say. Get us,
But we triangulated. My brothers and I, we go
Right.
It's good to have a third. To be the person who's like, oh, you're always closer with one in a different stage.
2 never made sense to me, but I didn't plan on 3.
Where can people find you? Where would you like them to go? Where can we
they
find
get
your
your
product?
scrub?
Does it
Oh
ship
my
to
gosh.
Canada? Like, what's next? Where?
Canada, you people.
Yeah, I know.
Trust us.
We know.
You people.
No, we said
There's issues with shipping to Canada, but we can ship some stuff to Canada.
Okay,
Yes, we do. And jbscrub.com, it's SKRUB, not because I can't spell, but because everything else was taken.
Yes.
also
and
it's
then
lingo.
also, of course, Amazon.
oh, good.
So yeah, we're there. And me, I mean,
Like, what's next for you? Like, you're just like we're.
I just did a show in Georgia called Jesus Christ, help me.
It's
God.
called Jesus.
It's called Jesus Christ. No, it's the opposite.
Christ,
of that.
help me, God.
It's called Hysteria, and it's about satanic panic in the 80s. And I am, it's
You're gonna love
so different. I have no idea.
It's not funny?
No,
Oh.
no. I mean, I don't think it's funny.
You love death and Satan and stuff.
It is weird and dark.
It's weird.
And well, it's for me. It was a real departure. I was like, yeah, I want to do something different.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How long did that take to
Well,
film?
we started it was supposed to be like 4 months, but the strike happened, so it took a year.
Oh, yeah.
It took a whole year.
Oh, and one other thing.
and Happy Gilmore too.
Thank you. You're going to be in that?
Do you know my son loves that movie?
My kids have never seen it.
You shut up. They've never seen it. How could they not see every Adam Sandler movie?
Well, I have this weird poster that Nolan gave me. There's this place. This is I believe it's Ghana. And please, I apologize. I'm getting the country wrong. In Ghana, they have these things called video clubs, and a video club is literally like a TV, like an old school TV with like the videotape that goes into it, and they charge people $5 or $3, whatever it is, to go watch whatever the movie is that night, and that's the video club. And to advertise it, they do these giant posters they paint on old flour sacks, and they are crazy bananas because comedy, nobody understands a comedy from comedies don't sell well for the video club. So they're advertising for, say, Happy Gilmore is this massive poster, and I'm in the middle of it, only I look like Beyonce. I have a fantastic ass in this, which is not real. And there's Bob Barker, and there's Adam Sandler, and there's crocodiles eating people and knives and a monster and blood, because that gets the butts in the seats at the video club.
And it's not like that.
No, it's not.
There is Bob Barker for a minute.
There's Bob
and
Barker.
There is an alligator for a minute.
But and there's not really, and I'm in the lingerie with 2 pitchers of beer for a minute. But that's what's front and center on this whole poster. And I have this. Nolan gave it to me. It's one of my most treasured possessions. I love it, and it hangs on the wall in the hallway going down to their rooms. And I'm sure they're just like, hard pass, Mom. Hard pass.
Oh my god.
My son is he loves that, like slapstick, like the comedy of that. That's him. He will die to go see the second one. Like die.
So, well, I'm in the second one, but I haven't seen a script. All I got is Adam told me we're doing it, and I said, great, you'll let me know if I'm in it. He goes, of course you're in it. And I was like, but I mean, I'm probably like, I'm in it for 5 minutes. Maybe there's got to be some hot young girl, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're pretty.
Are they redoing it?
No. It's part 2.
Isn't Sydney Sweeney the girl in it?
Okay, so my son calls me from school the other day and he goes, Mom, is Sydney Sweeney the cart girl in Happy Gilmore 2? And I was like, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I have like 5 jobs, and like I don't know.
I'm not keeping up with I'm not keeping up with TikTok on what the like hot girl is right now.
When are they filming it?
I think this fall in New Jersey.
Oh, that's so good. That's so fun. That's exciting. Something to look forward to in the movies.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
it is. We appreciate you so being here.
Yes.
You are have made me a legend at home, because they watch all the show. Like they watch it. They obsessively watch it. I haven't watched it as much as they have watched. I watched it way back when. So thank you for
well, if I get to work with Sydney Sweeney, I too might be a legend.
You will.
You will be.
I know.
That will make you cool.
One of mine, he shall remain nameless, was like, Mom, I'm coming to that set. And I was like, and I'm going to tell her how filthy and disgusting you are. He was like, I will kill you. And I was like, so brush your teeth and flush your toilet.
There you go.
That will make you cool. Just so you know, remember I said I'll never be cool? You'll be cool.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
like
you
you will
will.
be a legend in their eyes.
God, you're so
You will be.
Thank
you.
you.